Alrighty, welcome to another edition of the Option Genius Show. I'm Alan Sama. With me is Matt D'Ambrosi. We are with Option Genius, where we teach people how to make money from the stock market using options, selling options primarily, selling contracts, getting premium, kind of like an insurance company. So
That's right.
Um, that's how we play it. That's how we make money. And then we don't have to actually pick which stocks are going higher or lower or directions or anything like that. And we just use probabilities to help us out and tell us what to do. So we will be talking about trading. And so please be aware that trading can cause losses. You can lose money trading. Everybody does at some point. Um, so don't trade with money you cannot afford to lose and talk to your financial professional before doing anything. How you doing, Matt?
Doing well.
Happy
Friday
Friday to you.
again, right? It's gone very quickly. It's like Monday,
Yes.
Wednesday, Friday. Here we are.
And
So,
today is actually a special Friday. It's a quadruple witching Friday.
yes,
Woo! Ah,
all
my
the options
pretties.
expire.
Yes. So, quadruple witching. What the heck is that?
Yeah. The first time you heard about that, you're like, that can't be positive anyway.
Kind of scary.
Yeah.
Hello, what's going on here? So it only happens 4 times a year, and it's when we have uh, stock index futures, we have index options, we have stock options, all the stocks, and we have single stock futures, which are not very common. But we also have futures options expiring today. So, you know, it's they're going to be. I think there's a record today. There's going to be over $1 trillion of options that are going to be expiring today.
$1 trillion with
Can
a
you
T.
imagine that with a
Think about
T?
that. It's so hard to conceptualize a T, a trillion, right?
Yeah.
It's a massive
And,
amount of money.
and then the crazy part is 80% of that is on the SPX.
Right. The
Whether
market.
it's,
Oh, yeah.
whether it's the index, whether it's the ETF, whether it's the futures, but 80% of all trading is done on basically the S&P 500 index. Uh, and that's crazy. It just grows and grows and it just gets bigger and bigger every time. And so, when this happens, obviously there's a lot of expiration. And so you kind of what they say is you should expect a volatile day today. Now I'm looking at the VIX and the VIX is down 10% today. So,
Yeah, it's not even close. It's like
mm,
15 something.
yeah, not a lot of
That's
volatility. SPX is up 0.9%, the RUT's up 0.9%, oil's up 0.8%, dollar's up, Nasdaq is up 1.2, Dow is up 0.5%, gold is up 0.3%. Even Bitcoin's coming kind of trying to get in there, up 3% today.
right.
So yeah, it doesn't seem to be volatile. It just seems like everything is higher today. Um, Not a lot of movement though. If we could
Do
take a
you
look at
think that it could be with this cycle being close to the holidays?
No, I don't know. I don't know really. But they do say that a lot of the effect does take place towards the end of the day.
Hmm.
Because with so many open interest contracts there, the pinning effect really takes place, and you can see it in many stocks or maybe even the SPX on a day like today when there's so many things that are expiring at the same time. So pinning basically is when you see where the open interest is on a option, like one of the what is the option strike that has the largest open interest, and then it kind of, if it's close to the money,
Like it tracks
somehow,
price.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, somehow that stock ends up very close to that
Yeah.
open to that strike. So, one way or another, you could probably play it that way and be like, okay, what's open interest at? What's going on? And then where do we close? And how do you make money from that? By selling options is probably the best way. But, um, you know, you're kind of taking a risk there that, oh yeah, there is going to be pinning and at what price, and if you're off a little bit, it's
You're kind
uh,
of a day trader when you're trying
yeah,
to.
yeah, it's a game I don't want to play, but
Yeah.
some people do it. And if you're a big yeah, if you can get a big reward, so it's like, okay, I'll risk $10, but I want to make like, 500 or something. If that
Mm.
helps, okay, maybe. But overall, it's like for me, yeah, not worth the stress. No thanks. You
Yeah,
know,
enough in your
every,
life
yeah,
to
everything's
add to
up
it.
today. It's a good day.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't want to rock the boat and mess up my mood, you know?
take it as it is. I mean, we've already had a great day. We had a market power win.
That's two in a row this week. So 2 days
Yeah,
in a row.
yeah, and that could be what, three?
Yeah,
So
so
we have,
we got the signal live right now. Um, and yeah. So I'm actually right now I'm testing strategy number 3 for market power, which is basically how do we take advantage of signals that happen early in the daytime,
right, and
right?
there are a lot of them.
Yeah,
There
there are more of those than we actually trade with the market power. So market power is, at the end of the day, if the signal's still there, then you put the trade on for the next day. This would be, okay, hey, we got the signal in the morning. Should we take advantage? Yes, no, how, where, how much, And so those are all the things that I am now back testing and checking out. So far, the test is looking really good. So hopefully we'll be able to add that in very soon to market power. So then the market power method will incorporate 3 different strategies: market power, the Phoenix, and then this new one.
three-pronged attack.
A three-pronged attack. Yeah. So it's like, oh, hey, yeah, I want to trade every day. Okay, here you go. Hey, I want to trade like, 5, 6 times a week, a day, a month. Sorry. Okay, here you go. Here's this one. Oh, hey, I want to trade like more than once a day. Okay, we got you covered.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. You have that ability to pick your poison, right, if you will. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's all on SPX. And so that's like 80% of the options out there. So you got plenty of liquidity, plenty of volume. And for those of you who don't have the full capital to play SPX, or if it's too much, you can do XSP, which is 1/10 of SPX, and it's still an index. So it still has the benefits of no early expiration and the tax treatment and all that good stuff. But it's much smaller, especially
yeah,
for the Phoenix, because the Phoenix, the margin on that trade can get into the thousands. And so if you don't have it for that, then you can use XSP and it'll be in the hundreds instead of the thousands. So,
definitely a way to, move into that bigger margin requirement for sure.
yep. And then eventually you grow and grow, and then you'll put that to work. Um, but the one thing is with the market power, you got to stick with the rules. Very important.
Yes, stick with the rules,
I
right?
think yeah, that's with like
As best
anything.
you can.
Put that on a tattoo or something on your arm or whatever you can see it. But yeah, stick to the rules.
Well, it kind
Trade.
of made me laugh. One of our students said he didn't get filled, but he said I got cute with it, and I was like, oh, the cute word, that never works out. You think of getting cute with a trade and going off the rules that you actually have in place, and usually doesn't end in a good place. So,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yep,
That that
stick to the
that was
rules.
that was one of the rules we had at the fund. Yes, number
That's
one,
right.
don't
Don't
be
get cute.
cute.
Don't get cute, man.
That money saved us a lot. That rule
Yeah.
saved us a lot. It's like, oh yeah, hey, this is happening. Well, I'm thinking about doing this. It's like, rule number one. Oh, don't lose money? No, don't be cute.
Right. So I'm hard pressed to think of a time where I was like, okay, we're being cute and it worked out. So cute,
Yeah, it doesn't happen
yeah,
often.
doesn't happen often, if not any.
No, no. And
Yes.
George Thompson's is saying hello and happy Friday. So, hey, George, how you doing? Nice to see you. Um,
George had a winner. He was in the Market Power group last night. So
Congratulations,
he was
George.
with a win, I would believe, at this point.
Nice. Very nice. So yeah, people happy with market power. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, it's been a
Uh,
good year. It's been a great year for Market Power.
it has been a very, very good year. Yes. So, what else is happening? This is not stock related, but the Epstein files might be coming out today.
Might
Might be.
probably it's going to be released at after 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. when people aren't paying attention. Everyone's traveling or
No, I mean
whatever.
people are waiting for that thing. People are
Yeah, they
waiting.
are. I know. I know.
All the news media is there waiting, and they're going to be like, okay, take the whole thing and stick it into ChatGPT to get a summary.
Yeah. I mean, what a crazy mess, man.
Yep.
Yuck.
And they say the whole thing will not be coming out. The Department of Justice is saying they're
Of
going to
course
release
it won't.
parts
Yeah.
of it. They're only going to release parts of it at a time.
Parts they
So
want to release.
it's like, oh my God. Oh my
Right,
God.
that they think we can handle.
Yeah, it's nuts. So hopefully that does not affect the market. But if there are some, I
I
don't
was
know.
thinking about that though. I was thinking about like how something like that could, because I did see that as that was happening today, may or may
Mhm.
not. And I was in the back of my mind, I was like, how could that, if it could affect the market, right? And I don't really have an answer for that, whether it would or wouldn't.
Right. Well, so far, I don't really stay on top of this, but so far from what I know, there's been um, one casualty already from the Epstein stuff, and that was Larry Summers,
Hmm.
who was the dean of Harvard, and he worked in the government for a while under, I don't know which administration he was in. But he had to resign in disgrace, and like his life is over. His,
Tainted. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, he's got plenty of money, so he's not worried about that. But I mean, his reputation is now tarnished because of this stuff. And so if there was somebody, I'm not talking about politicians. I don't know about politics. That's a separate thing. But like, if the CEO, like Mark Zuckerberg, ended up on that island and he's got, they
Certainly.
got,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Facebook might have a negative 20% day tomorrow or Monday if that happens. So yeah, it could affect one individual stock, I think. Or if there was like, oh yeah, yeah, they had the AI bash at the island and all of them were there. That would be pretty bad too. But then, that saying that is like, well, if they're all there, then maybe the stocks don't go down, if they're
Yeah, it's
all
just kind of
there.
like, oh, carry on.
Yeah, it's like, oh, damn it. Okay. But if only one of them is there, then yes, that one will go down. Um, but in terms of politicians, I don't know if somebody like a Bill Clinton or Obama, okay, no big deal. It's not going to affect the markets that much. If Trump is there, I don't know. They won't release it if Trump is
They
there. It's
won't.
like,
There's no way they will. There's no way they will.
yeah,
He wouldn't. You think he would authorize that? That's
no way.
the part we're not seeing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but who knows? What a mess, for
So,
sure.
yeah.
I bet the prediction markets are working on that though. I'm sure that you can take a bet about who's involved. I'm
You
sure.
maybe. And now the news yesterday came out that Coinbase, so you have Robinhood, right? Robinhood's a stockbroker, and they
Yep.
also have crypto, and then they've added all the sports betting now and the predictions and all that. And now you have uh Coinbase, who is a crypto broker, and now they're adding the prediction markets, and now they're getting into stock trading.
Hmm.
So you have everybody doing everything. And like Interactive Brokers, they've been a stockbroker, they've been options, futures, crypto. They've also added the prediction market. So it's like, pick your poison. Which one do you want? They all do everything. In a sense, I think that's a good, like we'll be like we'll be like, okay, pull your Coinbase app up. All right, now let's find the probability of profit on this option. We're gonna be teaching Coinbase interfaces in the future.
You never know. You never
Yeah,
know. For
yeah,
sure. I mean, could
man.
you say that we were doing what we're doing 5 years ago, right? So, yeah.
Hmm. Well, I've been doing it for a while, so yeah, I
Well,
couldn't
yeah,
imagine.
that part, right? Of course. But
Yours was like, oh, hey, total change.
total change. Absolutely.
All right. Jennifer saying that if you want to release bad news, you do it 30 minutes after the close of business on Friday. Yep. And then George is saying that, hey, if that's the case with Trump, then you only hope that you're holding SPX Lotto contracts. Yep. So it might be a good day to put that first part of the Phoenix on. Even if we have a market power trade, maybe we just put the
Just
we just
just
put the
do
lottery
that.
ticket part of the Phoenix on
It's
today.
yeah. And over the weekend, lotto ticket.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and George also saying that he's market power he's got three in a row paper trading, so he's
In
just
a row,
started.
yeah. Okay.
Nice, great job. Um, yeah, so you know, in terms of what's working right now, the AI trade. it's on and off like every day, one day it's up, one day it's down, one day it's up, one day it's down. So it's still lagging behind. But I see banks hitting all-time highs every day.
And steadily, yeah, they're just
Um,
that's not right.
and and it's not just the US banks. I see Canadian banks, I see South American banks, I see European banks. I mean, banks around the world are doing really well. Gold and silver, obviously, silver's up another 3.5% today. It just crossed, like, it had headlines, oh, gold, silver's over $50 for the first time in history. Today it's trading at 67 and a half.
I know it's crazy.
It just keeps going higher and higher. Um, and what's his name? Carnival Cruise Lines also had earnings yesterday, and they hit it out of the park.
They
Um,
did. Okay.
and the CEO, he had a line. He's like, people don't see Carnival as a what was it? Here, let me make sure I get the exact quote. Uh, Consumers don't see vacations as luxury spending. That
I
was the
think people don't see
CFO.
carnival as
This,
luxury. I think that's the more accurate.
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I've been on a Carnival cruise.
I
Yeah,
have
it was
too.
not
No,
luxury.
it's not luxury. No.
Um,
You have to
uh,
do a lot. I don't think it's possible to rebrand Carnival.
like I've been on three cruises. My first one was a celebrity cruise in Alaska, which was my first ever cruise, and I was like blown away. I was like, wow, this thing is so nice. The ship was so nice and everything. Then I go to a Carnival cruise and I'm like, what the heck is this? This is
Like
like
10 people hanging up the hot tub, and you're like, what the heck? It's
yeah, it
like
was
party.
ridiculous. It was like,
Yeah.
it was like old decor and like stuff was peeling and the colors were fading and I'm like, oh, this is horrible. Then we went on a Disney cruise and that was like, okay, this is like the best cruise of all, I
I
think.
heard the Disneys are like crazy. They like any trash anywhere. They're
Oh
picking up
yes.
super clean,
Yes.
like
Yep.
crazy.
They have so by the main restaurants, right? At dinner time, by the main restaurants, they have bathrooms. And so they have one person for the men's bathroom and one person's for the female's bathroom. So if you go into the bathroom and you come out, that person has to go in and clean up after you. They clean up after every single person. And that's their
That's
job. They just stand there.
sounds like the Masters.
Yeah,
Lucky to get to the Masters, and it's like there's no trash anywhere. It's like everyone's there to pick up. Like I dropped something, and before I could pick it up, someone was like, it's the most well-behaved people on earth. It seemed to be. Yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah. The cruise itself was amazing. The staff, the people, everybody, really, really great. But yeah, so I guess Carnival is doing well. The other cruise ships are doing well too. Norwegian, Royal, they're all doing well. The casinos are doing well. And they say that the overseas in China, the betting and stuff, the gambling is all picking up. So there are pockets of stuff that is still working. Um, the Russell 2000 is still has about 50% of the companies on the Russell 2000 are not profitable. They don't make any money, which is weird because they're all US based.
Yeah, they talk like zombie companies. They just
Hmm.
not making any money and just dying.
Yeah. And then OpenAI is raising money. They're looking for $100 billion.
Billion.
$100 billion. They're trying to raise money, and they're saying that their company is now worth $800 billion. So interesting. And then on the when we talk about billions, um, Elon Musk is now worth over 600 billion by himself
Right.
because of SpaceX going public this year or
Yeah.
next in 2026.
I love the headlines that come out every now and then, like the market goes down or Tesla gets affected, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Elon Musk lost X amount of dollars," and you're like,
It's like,
"In
no, he
relation
didn't.
to what?"
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's just such a craziness.
Yeah.
You could say that it's like, "Oh, he lost 400." $1 billion today. It's like, well, he has this much, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it'll go back up tomorrow. It's
Yes.
paper money. It's all paper. At
Yeah.
that point, at what point does it like not even matter anymore? He's like, I can't spend this money. There's no way in the world I'll be able to spend all of it. It's just uh insane.
Yep. Sure is.
Cool. All right. So you had a question that came up yesterday in coaching calls, right?
That's more of a question, but we talked about, and this comes up a lot, right? It's not just on this occasion, but what is the best way to get into trading? Like, what strategy would you try first when you're brand new, right? Or what would you learn? What is the easiest to learn? Um, and I have my thoughts on this, right? From my own experiences. Now, I ended up learning basically a covered call and a put strategies before the credit spread, right? And lots of times people learn the credit spread first, which I think in my mind is a little bit harder to conceptualize than doing the strategy of a naked put or a cover call. So I like to teach people naked puts, cover calls first, and then branch into the credit spread as a strategy of learning as
So
far.
that's what you told them. That was the
Mhm.
answer you gave them.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because that's my own personal experience.
Right. Yeah. And in the passive trading book, we covered three strategies for new people: covered calls, naked puts, and
And you
spreads.
really just need those three strategies. I think you don't need more than that. I don't think
I
so.
I mean, you could do well with any one strategy if you do it
Sure.
right. If you know what you're doing. It's just a matter of, we always have greed. It's like, okay, hey, I can make 2% on this trade. I can make 10% on that trade. I'm going to try the other one, the 10% one.
Right.
But I remember the first time I ever heard about options was Wade Cook,
Yeah.
Wall
There's
Street
a
Money
lot.
Machine. And it was a book that my dad had bought sitting in the house, and I'm looking at it, and he's like, "Oh, how to make so much money on Wall Street Money Machine." I'm like, "Okay, I want to know that." And it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, how an ex taxi driver made millions in the market." I'm like, okay, I'm excited. Taxi drivers are,
Yeah.
they used to be pretty stupid, I mean, not stupid, but they were uneducated, and it was like a hard job. So somebody who could do that can make millions. Okay, yeah, tell me more. So I'm reading this book, and he's explaining about how he used to do covered calls. And he'd be like, "Oh, hey," he would call his broker on the phone, the landline, the landline, and he'd be like, "Hey, I need to talk to Joe." Okay, so they would get Joe on the phone. And like, "Hey, Joe, yeah, hey, on Microsoft, how much is the 200 call option?" And then Joe would put the phone down. He would
Like, let
go,
me go walk down to the floor. Hold on. I'll get
yeah, let
back
me
to
go
you.
check the price. So he would go, put it on hold. He would go check the price, come back, and he's like, "Well, I think you could get to 400 for it." He's like, "All right, give me five of those." Okay. And then he would hang up. And that was it. That was how he made trades.
No confirmation callback.
I don't know, probably, probably. Um, but at that, and then he's like, if I was getting 400 for that option, that means I make 25% in, 1 month. And I'm like, what? 25% in a month? And he goes on and on in the book, and he's giving all these examples. Yeah, 20%, 50%, 30% doing covered calls. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is like the best thing in the world. Covered calls. I love this." Oh, okay. So I started digging deeper, going longer, researching it a little bit. And I thought, wow, this is the best thing in the world. And I even started a website.
Mhm.
Back then, there was this platform called Blogger, and it was like a free platform. You can go, you get an account, and it's a blog, and you just start typing, right? Um, and so I got it. It was 24% a year was the name of my blog.
That's where, yeah,
And it
very good.
was, and it was like, okay, my goal is to make 2% a month doing covered calls. Now, first I realized when I read my research, I'm like, there's no way you can make 20% on a covered call. I'm sorry, Drew. That was total BS. Now, maybe back in the day, maybe it was possible, but yeah, no, no more.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to make 2%. So I started trading in a very small account, and um, I would record every single trade. Like, okay, here's the chart of the trade, and here's what I think, and here's the one that I'm selling, and these are the numbers, and da 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 da. And then I would recall, okay, this is how it worked out, and then I would show the next one, the next one. I did this for like 4 or 5 months. I got tired of it. I'm like, I don't even know if anybody's even reading this. Why am I doing this? I put that, and people actually commented. They're like,
But
"No,
it's,
no, we are reading it. It's great. It's great. We're learning." And I'm like, "Holy cow,
I
people
wish you
learn
still
so."
had this footage somewhere.
Yeah.
I would kill to see that. Yeah,
Vlogger is long gone,
yeah.
but I was like, oh my God, people are actually reading this. And then of course, the you get into what happens with covered calls. They work great in a bull market.
Well, we
Um,
talked a little bit about that, right? Different angles, right? You want to get something that's going sideways. You don't want it going up or down in a great
yes.
way, right? Of course. So, a steady stock is kind of the nice one
So it's
that you,
it's a nice bullish trade, right?
yeah. Mhm.
And so I was in it doing it, and then the market decided not to cooperate anymore. So I was very negative, disheartened, and I stopped writing. That was it. That was the last time I wrote on that thing. Um, and yeah, I still remember that. So that was like, it wasn't the first trade I'd ever done, but first options trade. Yeah, I believe that was the first one. And that's the first one that brokers push, right? Because that's the simplest one. Like you said, it's easy to understand. People can't really screw it up because you have the stock, and if you sell a call option, either you're going to let the option is going to expire, or the stock will get called away. So
Right. You know what's going to happen, more or
yeah,
less, right? So I think when people first get into, they hear about options, the default is, oh, it's risky. I don't want to touch it. So if you explain the covered call, people can conceptualize and understand it. And I think it gets the person that is scared actually into the game. So I think it's the best trade to try, right?
yeah.
To get into trading, to at least start, get in the pool, right? And start swimming.
Well, that's assuming that the person has stock. They already own the stock. They already understand how, the stocks work, and they move around, and if somebody's coming in with very little capital, they don't have the money to buy the stock. So it's not
Right.
really, so that is a limitation on that. But somebody who has owned stock for a while can realize that, hey, I got this stock. It goes up a little bit every year. I get, maybe 2, 3%, maybe on a dividend. But if I do this trade, I can make that in a month. Wow, that's really good. But if you have somebody in their youth, right, in their
Mhm.
20s or 30s, and you tell them, hey, don't buy Nvidia or don't buy, Coinbase, but instead buy Walmart and do covered calls on it, they're gonna laugh at you. They're gonna be like, "What? What are you talking
Well,
about?"
certainly, of course, of course. Yeah, there is that point. Correct.
Yeah. So I think age also is a matter. It affects you. Amount of capital, definitely. And so the brokers, they make it their, if you want to say, hey, I'm applying for options and I have no experience, they'll be like, okay, here, you can do covered calls. But that's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, you can do that all day long.
Yeah.
Sure.
So they don't have a problem with that. But then you got to go back and say, okay, I want to do something more and I want to go up and whatnot. And so the next level, I think, is the naked put, which again, it's somewhat easy to understand. Um, but it's kind of, you're picking up quarters in front of a steamroller.
Hmm.
And so it can be very lucrative while it's working. And then again, when it's not, then it can bury you. But when people go from covered calls to naked puts, they love it. They're like, oh my God, this is so much better, so much easier. It takes less capital, so I can make so much more money. And so that's something that people get back into. But for years, I had not done very many of those. And I left a lot of money on the table.
Why so? Why so would you say that? Just kind
Um,
of just drifted to other things, I
yeah,
imagine.
yeah, yeah.
I think that could
I did them for a little bit in the beginning, and then I got more attracted. to iron condors.
Hmm.
It's like, okay, and when I was learning, the condor was the easiest trade to make money on. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. You put it on, 30 days later, 45 days later, you take it off. You're done. 10%, boom, no problem. 10%, boom, month after month after month, no problem.
Well,
And
yeah,
so,
that's a great point. I think so much is matching the strategy to the market, right? You're
hmm
matching that, and then when things change, that's where you get hurt the most.
yes,
So you have to know these other strategies to take advantage of that, right? So you
yeah,
can't just sit in a nick or a put spread, continually, and the market changes on you, and then you got to have other tools, right, to
hmm
navigate the market, right?
yeah,
So
for sure.
you do, in fact, need to know several of them, I'd
Yeah.
say.
No, that, but you have to know, like, okay, if you say, okay, hey, do covered calls, there's a rhyme and reason to it. You don't just do covered calls, right?
Oh,
If
absolutely not.
I'm
You're
if I
talking about.
own, if I own a lot of I don't know what stock I would want to talk about, but like if it was let's just go back to Nvidia, right? If I own a lot of Nvidia and the thing is jumping 40-50% a year, you don't want to do covered calls on that,
No, you're
right?
going to lose all that upside.
You're going to
You don't.
cap it. You're not going to make that money. So you're going to make a 1%, 2% on the call, but then you're leaving like 10% on the stock. So it's like, yeah, wrong one. But that's what people come up with. They're like, "Oh yeah, you look at all the liquidity or you look at all the volatility and there's so much premium and so high." And it's like, "Yeah, but that's not the right type of stock for that." Same thing with the naked puts. People think, oh, if it's this, they look at this put giving me this much money versus this put giving me this much money, and I'm getting more money on this put, so I'll take that, put number two. But they don't realize put number two has, three times the volatility, and so there's a much higher likelihood of you getting assigned, even though the probability of profit is the same. Um, but
I mean, I always say stock selections, it's huge. It's huge at the end of the day about whether you want to. I think there's a part of it like, do you really want this company, right?
mhm,
Or what are you trying to do? Right? That's the question, right?
right,
So,
like
yeah,
yeah,
there's
and
more than
then
just trade on it.
And then there's the credit spread, which is what people then navigate towards. They move to that one. They're like, oh, okay, this is similar, right? It's kind of similar because you understand the naked put side, and you can be like, okay, well, I only knew how to sell calls, but now I can sell calls and not have the stock. I don't need the stock. Right. Oh, okay. So they
Yeah,
kind of,
that's where people just go, what? You don't have to own it to make money? It's like, how?
yeah.
Right? So,
Okay, that frees up a lot of capital. Okay, that makes sense. And I can make a lot more money. I can make, 10% in a month. Oh, that's nice. So it really helps people with smaller accounts. And because you can do both, you can do the puts and the calls. You can do them in the falling markets as well, which you can't do on the other two. So, and I think one other thing is that it lends to diversification in a sense where if I'm in a bull market and I'm going to do five trades, and if I'm doing covered calls, all five of those are bullish. If I'm doing five naked puts, they're all bullish. But if I'm doing five credit spreads, I could do three bullish and I could do two bearish, just in case.
yeah, you can. Yep. Very important.
So if something turns around and something happens, then I have something making money instead of taking a bath on every single trade.
Yeah, you don't
Um,
want to be like, you know, get
yeah,
hit on all of them, right?
right,
And
exactly. And that's the craziest thing because once in a while, yes, you'll get in trouble with the trade and you'll have to adjust your way out of it or play with it or do whatever. But if that happens on all five or all of your trades at the same time, that's very stressful, and you end up making mistakes because you're just like
it's
it's a quick
demoralizing,
you
right?
have
Because you're like, okay, I got wiped on all my trades. Do you really want to get back into trading, right? It's
yeah,
like you don't have any kind of wins,
yeah.
right? So, yeah.
And that's after the fact, but just during the thing, like because if the market drops, they're all going to drop at the same time. It's like, what do I do? What do I do? Oh my God, this one dropped a little bit, and this one dropped 5%, this one dropped 8%, but I think they're going to come back, and I don't know what to do. And it's
Well,
yeah, Hmm.
unneeded stress for
right,
sure. But I always yes, the credit spread is definitely, I think, better with a smaller account. I just think it's harder to, it's going to take a little more work to understand and conceptualize than a naked put or a cover call. That's why I would look at
Which one is more worth it to you? If you only you could only choose one, which one would you pick
to
to trade? You can only do one. You can only pick one
oh,
strategy.
that's a great question. Are you talking as a beginner or just if I had to just do it right
Even
now?
now, right now, even you right now.
Oh, right now, credit spread.
Okay.
Yeah, a credit spread.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
because
eventually you want people to get there.
of course, because you have so much more ability to affect the trade with a credit spread.
Hmm. Yeah.
There's things
So
you can do, like you can adjust it, you can move it, you can do all sorts. You get on the other side, you can do all sorts of things
yeah.
with a credit spread.
So starting off, I guess, cover call is a good way to practice and learn, get the basics. Maybe you do a few of those. Maybe you try out a few naked puts. Um,
Well, we talk about in the class of having for the beginner lower capital stocks, right? So you learn how to do these naked puts and cover calls. It doesn't have to be, you're come in and you're going to do a cover call in NVIDIA or a naked put in NVIDIA. You can't do it, right? Most people can't. They don't have that kind of capital. So, we're starting to look at those lower range stocks where, someone could afford that, right? So in the ballpark.
right. The only problem there is that those lower price stocks are also more volatile
Yes, they
because
can be.
they're not really big companies. And so
Right.
they can move around a lot quicker.
And
So it's
again, it
kind
comes down again to, what are you trying to do with this? Is this something that you would like if you were happy to be put a stock, right? Do you really like the stock or you just, oh, I just picked it off a chart and said I wanted to start doing naked puts and cover calls. Totally different thing in my mind.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, when it's a naked put, people say, "Oh yeah, I don't mind owning this company. Yeah, I don't mind." But when it drops 30%, they're like, "Yeah, I don't want this
Yeah.
company."
I just find it fascinating because, people go out and they shop, right? They shop for clothes, they shop for bargains. We're shopping for bargains. It should be the same way in the stock market, right? When you're doing a naked put, that is in a way, to me, you're hunting and you're shopping for a bargain, right? So you either have the ability to buy it at the price right now, or you can wait, or you can do a naked put and get it at a lower price, right? So
Hmm.
in my mind, that shouldn't be fearful, right? But we treat it like we're all scared to do it, right? So I don't think it should be that way.
Right. Because it's kind of like, well,
You find it funny, but I find it very interesting. Like, we're conditioned in life to go out and find things at a discount.
right.
But when we approach our stocks, we're like, oh, I'm scared of it going down. I don't want to, what's the disconnect?
Yeah. It's like it's on sale. I'm gonna buy it, but what if it goes cheaper and I can buy it cheaper later? What if that happens?
Yeah,
But yeah, so instead of Black Friday, shopping for Black Friday, we're shopping on Quad Witching Friday.
there you go.
Ah,
Happen. Yeah.
all right. So Michael says that naked puts are his favorite strategy, and he likes selling them on red days.
See, he goes into the blood on the streets. Like, lovely. Right? So you know,
But again, we are in a bull market, so you have that thinking in the back
right.
of your
Of
mind, like, okay,
course.
yeah, it's going to turn around and go higher. Um, but it's just a matter of like how many are you holding when the thing turns around, goes down, and then does not come right back up? Because then, and I've had this happen too. You are what was supposed to be like a short-term trade turns into a war. It was supposed to be
Yeah.
a battle, and it turns into a war, and you're holding that stock for like 3 years, selling covered calls on it,
And you're
trying to
just,
get back and try to go back up again, and hopefully it does.
and
Depending
it
on
might
again the
not.
company.
It
It
might
might
not.
not. It might not.
Yep.
So it depends on the thing. Like for example, the Nasdaq itself, the QQQ. If you were selling naked puts on that into the .com crash, right? I think it took like 10 years or something for the Nasdaq to get back up to where it was before. So yeah, that was a long war, my friend. Um,
And most people are not gonna wait out that war.
no, no, they cut their loss and move on. And then they're like, yeah, that stuff doesn't work. That option stuff doesn't work.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. So I'll be careful. All right. So did we have any movement on the SmackDown?
A little bit, yes. More towards the positive, I will tell you that. So let me share.
And then Michael did say Michael won last time, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yes, and he did say that he got his present. So
he
Michael,
did. He
we're,
did say it. Yeah.
we're expecting a picture of you and the present.
And Mr.
All
Strick,
right.
I don't know. Have you received a picture from Mr. Strickland yet?
We have not, Mr. Strickland. We're waiting on that picture
I
as
think he
well.
said, if I recall, I think he said he lives in he's in the Montana area. So he's trying to wait for a perfect picture for a moose. I'm like, ah, come on, send it.
Oh, he's waiting for an animal in the
A
background.
moose in the background. All
Uh,
right, so here we go.
all right, so who is up? Michael is up still, 28%.
Yep, he's increased his lead, but a lot more positive turns, obviously, with the market change
A
in the
little
last couple.
bit. So Nugget is up 15. What else is positive? ASAN is now flat. Silly is up
Micron.
10. Micron's up 11. They had earnings, so that was a big jump for them. And then they're up today too, big. They're up 7% just today. Or actually, was that based because of earnings? Let me see. No, they had earnings a couple days ago. So it's after earnings, it popped yesterday and then it's popped again today. So that's good. I
Do
think
you
they
know that
popped
was the biggest holding in Charlie Munger's portfolio?
the Micron, really?
Really was for years.
Qualcomm is now flat. Hood is still negative. Let's see. We had a Netflix still down 4. RR is still not negative 19 and Mind, whatever that is, negative 25. That was, I think he just like took a risk. He's like, okay, it's either gonna go big or it's gonna go up in flames.
I don't know. I wouldn't put by him. He's got some kind of
And then
that.
the cat is down 7
Yeah.
per. Cool beans. All right, so we still got a week. Now we're heading into Christmas, right? So Christmas is coming 6 days.
Yep. It's upon
Uh,
us.
yep. So Thursday, Friday, probably nothing going on. Wednesday, probably also nothing going on in the markets. Um, and then the 29th and the 30th, and then the 31st is New Year's Eve, which I believe the market is open on New Year's Eve.
That's what we need to check. Don't know.
Let's find out. Come on, Google.
Not going to sneak in these half days on us.
The market is open on New Year's Eve for a full day. It will be closed New Year's Day.
And just Christmas is just Christmas Day.
Christmas is closed, yes.
Yep, for Christmas Day.
I think there is a half day in there somewhere. Let's see.
Let's see you.
It will also be closed. The market will be closed on January 9th.
January 9th.
Yes, it's the National Day of Mourning following the death of Jimmy Carter.
Oh, okay. So this is new.
I
No,
guess. Never heard of that before.
I remember 9th, really.
The day of mourning. So Thursday, January 9th.
Friday.
Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't say anything about Christmas.
Hmm. Okay.
Christmas Eve.
And beware of light liquidity, right?
Oh, for sure. Definitely very light liquidity. There's not gonna happen. Christmas Eve, it's open until 1 p.m.
So
So
yeah, I
half
knew
a
there was
day.
something in there. I knew it. Yep. So Christmas Eve. Okay.
Half a day on Christmas Eve. Closed on Christmas and closed on New Year's.
Years. and then the ninth.
but open on New Year's Eve.
Open on
So
yours.
the 31st is New Year's Eve. It's going to be open. We are actually not going to be, we're going to be off. Um, so I'm not sure when we're going to have the results for the SmackDown. Today
Hmm.
is the 19th. We might have to find the results on the 26th, the day after Christmas.
Okay.
Are you traveling?
I am.
Oh,
No, but I'll be in place.
well,
I
okay.
travel out weekend.
Okay. So Friday's the 26th. So that will be we'll have the show on the 26th and we'll announce the winners of the SmackDown.
Okay, I'm 26.
And if we decide not to do the show, then we will find the winners and post it. So we'll end it on the 26th, and then the next time we come back is when we'll release the finals, the results. But let's
Right.
just
Either way, it will end on the 26th.
um or should we just end it on like the 30th or the 29th? What do you think? Just go for the whole month? Let's end it on the 30th.
That's a Wednesday, so I think yeah, I
That's
think
a
that would
Tuesday. 30th is Tuesday.
uh, 30
It's
no. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I'm looking wrong.
So the 30th is Tuesday. The next day is New Year's Eve. So what we'll do is we will we'll pull up the prices and those will be the final prices for the contest. And then we'll announce those the next time we come back, which will be January. I don't know what day in January it'll be. Um,
January 1 is a Tuesday.
7th.
January
January
7th,
7th. So we'll announce it on January
Monday.
7th, but we'll get the prices on the 30th.
Okay.
Sounds good. So that gives everybody a little bit more time to catch up or whatever.
Okay.
Oh, all righty. Sounds good. All right. So market's still holding steady. VIX is still down 10%, back to 15. A lot of green today.
Yep.
A
We
lot of
still
green
have a
across the board.
market power
We still have a signal.
trade. Yep.
All right. So yeah, you got another hour left into the close. Might as well just maybe even put that one on a little early. I don't know.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, right now it's at 1.2. So hopefully that
Ooh,
should hold.
let's see. 1.2. I
So
think
this so you hit what you got two in a row, right? And then 2 days in a row we had them. So this will be the third day in a row.
this will be, I think it's the fourth for the month if we do it today.
Okay.
Yeah. But we've had two in a row. We had one earlier in the month. So
Mm-hmm.
today we're four.
Yeah. And the Phoenix had a really good run this month.
Yeah. So nice.
So it's
Really
been
good.
it's been good. Yeah. Awesome. All right, my friend. We will see you next week. Thank you, everyone. Let me just check one final time, see if there are any questions that we missed. Nope. Looks like we're good. All right. We'll see you all.